Hello fellow YouTubers, this is N0AGI. I'm here to do a quick and a short walkthrough of my Radio Shack. I think my radio setup is matured enough. It's probably worthy to do a quick walkthrough. So the way I would love to do this is to do a high-level view of the shack and then go into the parts of it. The way I laid out my shack is to service each of the operations that I'm interested in, such as aprs, Echolink, WindLink, solar energy, backpacking, and pedestrian radio. So with that, I'd also like to cover the wiring at a high level. I don't believe it's the best wiring there is in the world, but I try to modularize my wiring as much as I can, and also walk through the my home server and various other components. So anyways, without further ado, let's get started. So at a high level, the way I structured my shack is from left to right, obviously. On the far left, I have my PC, my laptop. This laptop usually serves as my one-stop shop for everything I do with my hobby. That includes things like being able to program my radios through software. I build my applications using the laptop and deploy the applications on the laptop for it to execute. And it also serves as a central one-stop shop for all of these radios to connect to. So you'll see a whole bunch of cables running in the back through a common powered USB hub. And I'll walk through that a little bit more as we get closer. I have a larger portrait enabled LCD screen, LCD monitor that I use for not just monitoring my aprs, iGate, and digipeater, but also to be able to read documents. It provides a very good way, for me at least, to be able to lay out my PDF documents and read them fairly efficiently. And again, that monitor is connected to this laptop here. I'm used to old school, external keyboard and of course a mouse. On the center side here, on the middle of the shack setup, I basically bought these two benches on eBay. I think they were very fairly priced. I bought two of them, and then I set it up so that I could stack up my radios and my Cantronics TNCs and other devices here, and we'll walk through that quickly. At the way top there, you see that a little gadget, as you can tell. It's a Motorola POCSAG pager programmer that's again connected to my laptop that I can program with, and you're probably looking at that pager too. This is a different pager. It's a UHF band pager, and I'll go through that a little bit in a few minutes here. That's my down below, that's my Yaesu 897D. I currently use that for my aprs which is probably an overkill for what aprs does. Basically what this radio provides is a vehicle for me to receive the aprs data as packet and then pump that aprs data to my iGate and digipeater here. This iGate and digipeater is made by Microsat from Poland, and they've done a phenomenal job of this product. This one in particular, the model number is WX3-in-1 plus 2.0. I truly am impressed with this product. They did a fantastic job. It's both programmable through a web interface. You can also program it through a USB setup with your laptop. Change all the settings that you need to change, configure it and set it up so that it's up and running. And it's a fairly robust product, and I'm really impressed with the way they did it. So that's my Yaesu. I'm currently using it for my APRS. I'll probably change that to a smaller radio. I have a couple of Yaesu handhelds that I'm experimenting with right now, and I believe I can show that to you right now. That's one of these guys over here. If you look at this Yaesu, the FT1D, which is a pretty good handheld device for hybrid. It's got a built-in GPS obviously, and I'll do a separate video on that. But I'm more interested in leveraging my Yaesu VX8R, this one here in particular, and then hook it up to my iGate and digipeater. The only thing I'm concerned about using this as my APRS packet receiver is the range for the power that it can handle to transmit data, so up in the air, both from a reception and a transmission standpoint, because this HT can only operate at a 5 watt, which is actually a pretty decent power wattage. But I think if you want to receive longer distance packets and process them and sometimes transmit packets, you might need a bigger radio with a higher wattage. But anyways, I'm still experimenting. I'll still be able to use this as my final endpoint APRS station. I have completed my wiring to hook this up already to my iGate and digipeater, and I'll do a separate video on that. Let's see now. So that's the at a high level, that's my Yaesu, and let's go down further here in the middle section again. At the bottom you see my two Cantronics TNCs. One is a Cantronics 3 Plus. The other at the bottom is the 9612 Plus. The reason why I needed two, or I wanted two, the first one is for obviously a slower packet speeds, and the bottom, the 9612, the reason why I got that is because it provides me an opportunity to do POXAG paging service at a higher speed, and it does a pretty good job. It's got a built-in, the firmware has a built-in POXAG shell on it, so you could actually program through it. I'm still kind of experimenting with this, and be able to use that to send pages to my pager receivers. And that's a whole another project and a whole another video that I'd like to do at some point in time, and I think I'm making some pretty good progress there. So this one here, this is my old Yaesu, the FRG100. It's a shortwave radio receiver. I am very impressed with the way it works. It's very simple to use, although you kind of have to get used to using these buttons a little bit. But you know what? If you're a Yaesu guy like me, I think you will really enjoy this radio. I have had an opportunity to listen in on shortwave a few times, and it does a pretty good job. So that's that. So I got the Yaesu, the shortwave communication receiver, the FRG100, the KPC, TNCs here, my Yaesu 897. It's currently set up to run as my APRS station. And at the top here I have my LDG meter that I specifically use for monitoring my SWR on my Yaesu 897. I have not used my 897 for any talking operations yet. I'm not a big talker on the radio, so I'm not sure. Maybe I'll give that a shot. I'm more of a digital guy. I like to provide services on the air, like APRS, iGate, Digipeater services, WinLink services as sysop, and EchoLink services as sysop. And of course, a POXAG pager services and so forth. And we'll go into that a little bit more later. Alright, so let's go back to my PC here. Actually, before I move on to that, let me show you this one here. That's my Raspberry Pi, the later version. And I'm currently working on setting that up as my what I call a standalone radio and a data port. It's a different project. Think of it as a convergence of radio technology with network technology and a standalone solar powered unit that I would love to install in my backyard in one of my trees, one of my large trees, so that you can walk up to it, talk to my tree, connect to it through a network port, and then exchange data and so forth. It is also capable, or will be capable, of sending out beacons, letting people know that it is there at a particular location. But anyway, that's a different project. We'll get to that when we get to it, I guess. So that's the center section. On this, the port rate, I'm currently monitoring my aprs iGate. As you can tell, this is the aprs.fi website. I believe that's me right there, that little triangle in the center. And I'm currently servicing the southwest portion of the Minneapolis area. We are from Prior Lake here in Minneapolis. I have about 200 miles radius coverage for my APRS service, which I'm really happy and really proud of, that I'm able to add some value to the APRS community. And there's one other application that I'm currently running on my laptop here, or my laptop screen that is here. It's my aprs-is monitor client dashboard. You might have watched my other video talking about this application, so if not, please do go visit that video posting. I walked through this application in real detail. Alright, so let's move on to the next section.